How's everyone doing today? Um, First, I want to start off with this topic, talking about my qualifications. I was in the active Army for 20 years. I recently retired. I know a lot about how the government works when it comes to active duty, National Guard, and reserves, and all that stuff. So, real quick, just to do a quick definition, people need to understand, and this is kind of to touch on what's on in Washington D.C. First to touch on is the difference between National Guard, active duty, and reserves and things like that. National Guard is put in place for the state government to utilize for national disasters and things like that. Um, but the president can use Title 10 to federalize them um, in case of some sort of national emergency or whatnot. Um, so it's not what's going on right now. If the president hasn't ordered a Title 10, it's on the government there, the state government, to decide what's going on with all the stuff that's happening. First, we have to be mature in our responses and our actions and what we're saying about what's going on. Right? The whole point behind all this initially, right, is to help the illegal, or not the illegal, the homeless people that are there, right, with addictions, things like that, getting them off the streets, getting them help, things like that, stopping crime in the streets. And I think that's ultimately what everybody wants, right? They want to help the homeless. They want to encourage them to get help if they have addictions. Maybe they just want to be homeless. Um, but what that does is causes not them being trash, but they take whatever they eat or whatever they're doing and they put it on the streets for people to have to deal with. Whether it's drugs, if it's drug addictions and they have needles and stuff like that all on the streets. Not saying they do, but if they do that, right, that's something that we have to deal with as citizens, right? And compared to the rest of the world, we look like a dumpster, right? We're looking like we don't care about our country, that we don't care about how people act when they're here, what our citizens do. We see all of our citizens getting out of control and being immature about every single situation, right? The National Guard that's being activated there is not going there to police the citizens, right? Everybody knows that, but people are over exaggerating this situation and turning it into something that isn't real, right? Real being they're not going to go around policing citizens, right? They're trying to pick up and help out people with addictions. They're trying to help out the homeless people there. They're trying to police crime and stuff like that, right? And helping out the police community. That's the point behind it. If you don't care that people are breaking into your homes, breaking into your buildings, stealing from your stores, um, having drug addicts on the street, not helping the homeless, if you don't care about any of this stuff, then maybe you're the problem, right? It's not the rest of the citizens that want to take care of our citizens, right? We're not the problem. It's the people that keep trying to block good things from happening. There's nothing. I think it's sad that our country has turned into, some sort of fight and argument over helping people. Right? We're trying to help our citizens, and there's people that will resist at every single turn when you're trying to help our citizens, and you know, it just shows the immaturity of our country. Right? Half of the people are one way, half of the people are the other way. But ultimately, I believe that 99% of the people want to do what's right for our country. Nationalizing the the uh, the National Guard and helping out the citizens is not them terrorizing citizens. They're not going around locking up citizens, putting them in prisons, and putting them in internment camps, taking away their weapons, taking away their freedom of speech, right? They're not doing all this craziness, right? They're going around. They haven't even done anything yet. They're just showing up as a presence, right? They haven't even arrested anybody, right? But people are already exploding and over-exaggerating the situation. Be adults. Think about the situations. Wait for something to happen. If they start doing all this stuff and they're actually terrorizing the citizens, then you're going to have people like me that are on your side. I'm huge for the military. I really believe in what they do. In the government, I believe in parts of the government. I know there's corruption everywhere, but I think the point behind the government, right, is to do right by the people. And there's people out there that are in the government that really want to help out our citizens, right? There's people out there that joined because that's really what they believe in, right? And just like myself, I joined the military because I wanted to do something for this country, right? I wanted to make sure that people were okay. I wanted to do right by myself, right? I didn't feel good just sitting back, waiting at home, and watching fathers and mothers die in a different country. Whether they believed in the cause or not, the whole point is to take care of our country, right? And yes, ultimately, the president of the United States has the ultimate decision to change everything to Title 10, and he can utilize the national government, but the National Guard. But understand that the National Guard is a state thing; it's not a national thing. Even though it has National Guard in the title, it's state ran. That means the state governors are the ones that are allowing this stuff to happen, not the president. The president can say, hey, go do this, but until he uses Title 10, it doesn't mean anything. That means that the governors of that state have ultimate authority over what's going on with the National Guard. So if you keep blaming Trump for everything, you're wrong. It's not Trump that's doing everything. He may be the one suggesting it. He may be the one as the face saying, hey, let's try it out. Let's see if this helps, right? If you don't do anything to help out communities, it's never going to work. But if somebody takes a step forward in the government and is like, hey, let's try and help out this community, now all of a sudden people got a problem with you trying to help. I don't get it. I don't get why people are so upset about that. Grow up, be adults, and see if stuff like this actually helps. If it helps, then he's right. Right? Take care of our citizens. Take care of our homeless. If there's people with addictions, right? And get them off the streets, get them some help. That's what this whole process is for that's happening in Washington, D.C. If you don't want to help our people, you're the problem.